Hello, we are back, and today we are doing this super clean, super fresh makeup look using mostly Luxe products. And I have already done a version of the clean girl aesthetic makeup look on my Instagram. The handle is right here on the screen. Make sure you follow me on Instagram as well. There I did pretty much a drugstore, a more affordable version of this, and I would definitely love for you to check that one out. But this is mostly luxury products. You would see it in the video, and I am pretty excited for how this turned out. And this is my version of the clean girl aesthetic, and I really hope that you guys like it. And please make sure you watch the complete video because there are a lot of tips and tricks shared along the way. And before we get into the video, I know I'm repeating myself, but it would really mean a lot to me if you subscribe to my channel, and so we could just grow our community, our family here on YouTube, where we could just talk all things beauty, makeup, and skincare. And make sure you hit the notification bell as well so you're always notified whenever I upload a new video. Now, without further blabbering, let's jump right in. So if you want to do a clean girl vibe, you really want to make sure that your skin is very well moisturized and hydrated, because you really want that, dewy and lit from within kind of a vibe. And therefore I am firstly going to moisturize my skin, and for that I am using the Wishful honey balm. So I am just going to take like a tiny, it's a very thick moisturizer. I'm just going to take some. Now I'm just going to massage it really well into the skin, making sure my under eyes are very well hydrated as well. You really want to moisturize and massage your skin very well for this, because when you massage your skin, all that blood circulation gets going, and that just really helps you get a very glowy skin. And that's the vibe that we are going for. So we have the skin all juiced up, and while this kind of sinks into the skin, we are going to get our brows going. So we have like a setting spray. I am using my soap brows, and this just kind of gives you very fluffy and bushy brows that truly stay throughout the day. Okay, so I'm just going to take like some setting spray. This particular product is not available in India. You could just take any clear glycerin soap and it would work as good as this one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on this brow first, because this is the one that truly needs much more attention. And you can see I'm pressing it against the hair, and that just kind of lifts your brows beautifully. So now, since we are going for that glowy skin vibe, I am going to firstly use my Dior Backstage primer. So just taking a very small amount and massaging it into the skin. This one does fill your pores, smoothens out your skin really well. Since I'm not really going to be using a lot of eyeshadow today, I am going to be hydrating my eyelids because when you apply concealer under your eyes or over your eyelids, you really, because the skin is very thin there, you really want to make sure that the skin is hydrated. So very well hydrated. Now we need that glow. So I am going to be using my, can you guess it? I'm sure you can if you follow me on Instagram. My Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. You know this is a cult favorite, and it is a cult favorite for a reason. Elf Cosmetics just came out with kind of a similar product. I haven't really tried it, but it is all the rage right now, and I really want to try it. I'm waiting for it to come to India because it is definitely going to take a while for it to come to India. But I absolutely love this product. And now I am just going to take like a foundation brush and pack it into the skin. You can see I am taking some towards the center of the face, and that is to bring that sheen back. We don't want our face to be matte today. We want it to be very hydrated and glowy. So you would see that I'm hardly going to be using any powders, and when I do, they would be very lightweight. So we have the NARS Radiant Creamy Color Corrector, and I definitely need these bad boys gone. And if you would see, I am not using a very dark orange corrector today, which I usually do, and that is because I would be using a sheer foundation, and I don't want the color corrector peeking through, and this one kind of does a pretty good job at cancelling out these bags. Taking it on the upper eyelid as well to make sure that any darkness is taken care of. Alright, so we are ready for the foundation, and I'm really excited for the foundations. I'm using it for the first time. Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I have the shade 6.25 with me. I got this through an Instagram reseller. I am going to take some, about 1.5 pump, and you can see it's a very runny texture, and I am going to dot it all over my face. What I am going to do now is, since the foundation itself is pretty sheer, I'm going to use a brush, and I'm using the same brush that I used for my Hollywood Flawless Filter. So the face, it's already looks pretty, even toned. So for my bronzer, I'm using the Chanel bronzer. So I'm using my Huda Beauty Sculpt and Shade brush and my Chanel bronzing cream, and I am going to use the smaller edge to kind of apply the bronzer first. And you can see it's a pretty natural bronzing color for me. It's not something that's very dark, and the reason I'm using a shade that is very natural for me is because we want it to look very natural. You don't want to be bronzing too hard, especially in a look like this. So this look is kind of all about cream products and really blending them into the skin very nicely, so that it just still looks like your skin but very put together. So I'm blending it upwards for that lift. I am going to take my Pro Art PF14 brush and onto the tip, and I'm just going to lightly connecting it to the brow, so nicely sculpted. For my blush today, I think I'm using the Rare Beauty one, and this one is in the shade Lucky, that hot pink blush. And I'm just going to take some on the back of my hand. So I'm just going to warm it up really nicely so that it doesn't really get patchy, because I have noticed that with this blush that can happen very often. It might look like a lot, but don't you worry, it will just melt into the skin. Again, I am taking it very high onto the temples. Alright, so now I'm just going to take my bronzer brush again and make sure that there are no harsh edges. And now taking my foundation brush, I am going to go over it once more. So now it's time for the concealers, and I'm going to use two concealers today. These are the Radiant Creamy Concealer by NARS. I have it in two shades. So what I'm going to basically do is use the shade that's very close to my skin tone to conceal, and then I am going to use the lighter shade to kind of brighten my under eyes a little bit, so you can see the difference. And this shade is very close to my skin tone, so we'll be using that first. And they are just perfect for this look, especially because they look very, very natural, and therefore they're not matte and give you a very beautiful coverage. So since this one is not like a full coverage concealer, a tad bit of it is going to be visible, and I'm pretty okay with that. But in case you don't find you are not comfortable with that, you can use like a full coverage concealer to just correct and conceal those imperfections which kind of bother you. And I am going to conceal this just for the video purposes. Had it been real life, I wouldn't really have concealed this because I'm pretty okay with that. So for that, I am using my Dior Forever Skin Correct in the shade 3W. But always really, you really need to remember that for something like this, you want a concealer that is your exact match. You don't want to take a concealer that is lighter than your skin tone, because then it will be pretty evident that you used a concealer or you used product to conceal your imperfections. And now it's time to blend the under eye concealer, and I am using my Anisa Beauty angled concealer brush. This one looks really beautiful. So if you see, I am not covering my whole eyelid because it is giving me a natural lift and a natural eyeshadow look. You really need to remember that you cannot expect the 3D texture of your wounds or your bruises or your acne to go away with makeup. That will be an unrealistic expectation, and that's not what we do here on this channel. So now I am going to brighten my under eyes, and for a look like this we are not going to be using a lot of brightening concealer, just a little bit here. I think I just want some brightening on the center of my forehead, and using my foundation brush. So I kind of like to blend my concealers with the foundation brush, especially on the larger areas. So if you think it's kind of getting too much, what I am going to do is I'm going to use the same contour, the bronzing brush that I took, and tap it on the edges of the concealer. Makeup, I feel, especially a base like this, it's all about going back and forth with your brushes, with your tools. Even for your eyeshadows, you just have to kind of go back and forth while you're layering your eyeshadows, and that just makes a whole lot of difference. See, so the nose looks kind of pretty sharp to me at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some more bronzer. Correcting your mistakes is what makeup is all about. So anybody can do the perfect makeup, which honestly I feel is a myth, because what might be perfect for me might not be perfect for you. So using the tip, so now it's time to set those under eye concealers, because you always, whenever you're doing your makeup, you have to make sure that you always set your under eye concealer, even if you choose to not set the rest of the face. If you're oily, you of course you would need to set the whole of your face, but if you're a dry skin like me, then you can skip setting the complete face. Now what I'm going to do is I am using my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish in the shade medium. Such a huge difference already. So I'm just going to set the other eye. I am going to take my beauty sponge and my setting spray, and I'm going to spritz it onto my sponge, even it out so that it's not like there is just one area that's kind of saturated in the setting spray, and I am going to press it into the skin. So I am very dry and I am pretty much done with the kind of glow that this gives me. But if you are an oilier skin type, so I would really suggest you to use a product like Nanoblur. It is a blurring skin cream. It's more, so it's like a silicone-y texture, and this helps you to kind of fill in those pores, get rid of that greasiness that you kind of get after you're done with your makeup. This is the only product that was used on the sets of Euphoria. There were no powders used. So what this basically does is it is developed to provide high definition ready skin in seconds. This unique skin perfecting finishing cream uses light diffusing technology to create flawless camera ready skin anywhere, anytime. So there are 3 ways that you can use this. Number 1, you can instantly correct the appearance of skin aging. You can so now if you can see, there are certain pores visible here, so it just helps you to minimize the appearance of pores and reduces shine. It helps reduce those fine lines that you can see right here, and gives you a flawless skin in seconds. So you can use it without makeup, you can use it over your moisturizer, or with makeup you can use it over your foundation or under pressed or loose powder. So if you see, we have not used any powder on the rest of the skin other than the under eyes. So I am going to use this on the rest of my face, not on the complete face but only towards the center of the face. Use this. So I'm pretty happy with how this looks, but if you want some more, you can always use like a liquid illuminator or a liquid highlighter, but I kind of would skip that now. I'm pretty happy with how the face is looking right now. Now it's time to fill in those brows. What am I using to fill in those brows? It's this. It's the brow powder by ABH, and I am going to fill in. So basically just pressing in the powder. So now it's time for the eyes finally. And for my eyes, I think I am going to use a powder. I am using my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette, and I'm dipping into shade this one. This is, I think, matte 6. Just taking it onto the tip of the brush and right here into the socket, into the crease, just to define that roughly. And then I am lightly going to wing it outwards for a very slight lift. Take a small packing brush and take this shade from the palette, pack it towards the inner part to open up my eyelids. And we have not applied any eyeshadow towards the center of the eye because we have that natural eyelid color peeking through, and I think that itself does a pretty good job of looking like an eyeshadow. And I was just kind of blending the harsh edges without taking any more product here to make sure again there are no harsh edges left. And I'm pretty happy with the eyes. Now it's time for the mascara, and because we will not be using any falsies today for this clean girl aesthetic makeup look, I would be using a lash primer. So basically this is the first time I'm ever using a lash primer. I don't know what it looks like, or does it really make a difference? So let's find that out together. We do need to curl our lashes before that. So I'm using my lash curler here. Can we see the difference? And I'll go one by one because I don't want this lift to die down. Lash primer by Smashbox. And for my lips, I'm not going to use any lipstick today. We'll be using a lip tint. Do you know which one am I talking about? Do you know the rage that's been going on regarding the Fenty Beauty lip tint? I am using the YSL, the Bougie YSL Lash Clash Mascara. It says it gives you extreme volume. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now I'm just going to define my lips with a lip pencil. I'm using the MAC Whirl lip pencil. We want some lip oil. I absolutely love glossy and oiled lips. So I'm using the Dior Lip Glow Oil in the shade Rosewood. So the only mascara that I trust for my lower lashes is the MAC Giga Black, because of the tiny little wand that doesn't really, mess up, even though I always do. So that is pretty much it for this clean girl aesthetic, and I think you enjoyed and learned something from this video, because honestly that's the only motive for me. I'm pretty happy with how fresh, glowing, and still it looks like you. So even though this makeup look is so glamorous, I would truly wear it to even my date nights, or you could wear it for your brunch, you could wear it to your office, because this is so minimal and yet so put together. It just really gives me so much confidence to be in my own skin. I can still see some of my imperfections, but anything that would rather bother me is completely gone, and that is something that truly means a lot to me. You have complete control over what you want to see and how you feel confident in your own skin. Now with this kind of a makeup look, if you're wearing this in the summer months or in the monsoons, and especially if you're oily, you would definitely need to have a compact with you, or you could just take a powder puff, and kind of saturate it in a loose powder and just keep it in a Ziploc, keep it in your bag, and whenever you need it, you could just lightly touch up. But if you are wearing it in winters, this would look gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But even if you're dry, you would need to powder a tiny bit, at least the T-zone, because I'm sure all of us definitely get a little greasy during the summers and the monsoons especially. So that is something that you would have to keep in mind. Other than that, this look is a total no-brainer for me, and I absolutely love how stunning this looks, and I'm sure you do too, right? So I think that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure that you like and share this video, and also subscribe to the channel. It would mean the absolute world to me, and I would see you guys in my next one. I love you guys so much. XOXO.